Welcome, everybody, to Magic, Miracles, and Manifestation. Today with me is Kristen Dillard. Christine Dillard, sorry. I'm Kristen. She's Christine. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, I love how I just love having people. I love doing this. I love hearing stories that just validate to us that magic is real. And it takes a certain boldness to step up and say, no, this was not coincidence. I manifested this. So, my dear, take it away.
Oh, it was a mind-blowing experience. I had been married for 17 or so years, and I had been contemplating getting divorced, and I was looking for some signals and signs. There were some things I was worried about in the process, and um, I in November of 2023, I was at a birthday party. It was a party bus birthday party, and we were going from stop to stop, and at our first stop, we meet this little old lady. She was probably in her late 70s, early 80s. When we pack up to get ready to go to the next place, she's like, I think I want to go with. So I towed her around on my arm all night long. She hops on the bus with us. So I end up standing kind of beside her all night long. And we were at this probably 3 or 4 hours later at this last little joint. And we're standing there and she turns and looks at me and she goes, I used to be a palm reader. And for my whole life, I've like wanted to experience this palm reading experience, but I was hesitant, I think, and I hadn't really come across anybody who said they had done it. For whatever reason, hadn't bought it yet. So I'm standing there and I've had a couple beers and I'm like, me, like read my palm. Um, she grabs my hand and she looks down and she's got both fingers kind of rubbing the lines on my hand. And she looks back up with tears in her eyes. And there was like this moment of silence where the whole bar went quiet. She goes, you need to do what's right for you. I promise you. I know you're worried about someone's health in this situation. I know you've got some concerns and it's been stopping you. But she goes, you need to do it. Everything's going to be okay. And in that moment, I was just like, there is no way this woman knows what I've been battling. She has no idea what's been going on in my head. We haven't talked about any of this. It's been a happy, lucky, go like all free night long, right? And here she is giving me the permission and the freedom to do the thing that I'd been working to get done for several years. And it was 5 weeks later, and I filed, and it was one of the most meaningful experiences of my life. It changed everything for me, my trajectory, where I was headed. And who would have thought that it was a little old lady I met in a bar one night that I had no connection to, and she had obviously no information on my life or who I was. It was just a really incredible experience.
I love that you said permission. She gave you the permission.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I kept asking, I kept just wondering, like, is this the right move? Am I doing the right thing? Is it too soon, too late? Like, when will it be right? And it was like that was the moment. It's right now.
Earline Parsons, and we are going to chat about how magic has come and played in her life.
I'm interacting with my daughter-in-law, who I love very much. But of course, mother-in-laws have their little issues. She doesn't know that. And I'm aware of myself judging the child. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? There was no reason. She would never know what was going on in my head, obviously. But I'm hearing me and I'm shocked at me. And then I understood. This is the trimming of the wick.
There you go.
The resentments. Yeah. I didn't even know I had that resentment towards my daughter-in-law. Honestly, I didn't. But in our interaction that morning, it came up. And it was like, oh my God. And I trimmed my wick. I apologized, of course, energetically, because I didn't want to create a problem now.
Yeah.
I apologized to her. I asked God's forgiveness and I forgave myself. And I realized my inside was so much sweeter, and my interaction with my daughter-in-law was so much more authentic. And somehow it changed her behavior towards me too. Instead of Miss Earline, she started calling me mums.
Wow. And you did that energy, the trimming of the wick inside, internally, not saying anything outside. Oh, I love that. Now there's the magic. With me today is Elena. Welcome, Elena.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. I was diagnosed with alopecia areata. It's hair loss, but it's in a very specific pattern. Usually it's in a circular pattern. Some people lose, spots of hair. Some people have multiple spots in their head. Some people end up losing all of their hair on their head. In the summer, at some point, I don't remember exactly where it was, both my sister and my daughter, who's 10, had said, "You have a bald spot in the back of your head." And I just kind of blew them off. I'm like, because I have on the other side of my head, I have a part that's just a little bit wider. So I'm like, no, that's the part that I've always had. I just kind of didn't listen to them. And then a couple months later, it's my twin actually, she had said, "No, you actually have like a large bald spot in the back of your head." And sure enough, I finally looked in the mirror and I had about a golf ball sized spot, hole, I call it, in the back of my head where I had completely lost my hair. I mean, it was gone. It was literally bald. And of course, like most women would and men, I freaked out. I lost my mind. And then I eventually went in and I actually sent some pictures to my functional doctor, and she said, "That looks like alopecia areata. You need to go get that checked out." So I went to a dermatologist. They diagnosed me right away. And, everyone had said, "Okay, well, we have this medication, we have these shots. What do you want? We'll give it all to you." And I was like, I'm not going to do that yet. I just found out I have this, and I'm very into, natural remedies for things. I'm a health coach. So I'm like, wait a second, I'm not going to just start taking and injecting all of these things into my scalp. I want to do my research. I want to just like sit with this for a minute, which is what I did. I went home and, I did that, and they were all blown away. They said, "Well, you can't heal this or take care of this without these medications and these shots. And what do you mean you're not going to take this?" And I'm like, I'm just not. So I left the office and, I talked to my doctor and I did a lot of research, and I just decided that it was not, for me, worth the potential risks at the time. And I also believed very strongly that I could heal it on my own. So I went home and that's what I decided to do. And, of course, I did some research, but I also really just started, I had practiced and learned a little bit more about, the manifestation and visualization and how you can truly heal your body with your mind. I didn't know a ton about it, but I had learned about it and was aware of it. So I really started just diving more into that, started studying a little bit more of the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza and some other practitioners in that area. And that is kind of the route I decided to take. Now it's been about a year and a half ish. And I can say that I have like 6 inches of hair growth in that spot. The entire spot now has hair growth. And some of the other areas of my head that I had started to lose hair as well, I have hair regrowth in all of them. So it is, like you said, just kind of one of those things that looking back on it, I envisioned being where I am today, where it was coming back. And, one of the things I always thought about is my hair is going to grow back thicker, fuller, and better than it was. And it has.